to the studio. Welcome, NHL Tonight with you for the next half hour. Take you up to the Canucks and the Wild. Well, Barry, again, Flyers look a lot like Game 1, except it looked like a lot Game 1 early for the whole game. What was the difference in Game 1 and Game 2?
Well, if I'm Ken Hitchcock and I'm going to look at the tape after the game, and every coach does, what he's going to see is a team that was a little bit better, a little bit more energetic, a little bit better in the areas that Philadelphia stressed defensively and attacking the net. The first goal, you saw Primo in front of the goaltender. Gagne got a good shot coming up from behind the net. But the bottom line is, and Brian mentioned it, they won because Czechmonic was great. They sort of Giguered Ottawa tonight. The goaltender won the game for the Philadelphia Flyers. Ken will never look a gift horse in the mouth and say this was not a good win. You got the win, which is the most important thing, and even the series up. But Philly's not going to win this series, Ray, unless they play a lot better than they did tonight.
Yeah, they got exposed a little bit, their speed, and Ottawa was able to attack the net, and Philadelphia turned the puck over a little bit in their zone, but Czechmonic was solid. We've gotten on him in the playoffs about not having much of a style, and still sometimes when he makes these great saves, he's all over the place, but he made several key saves. On the other side of the coin, Ottawa turned the puck over in their zone a number of times. That's not the way Ottawa plays. They threw it through the middle far too much. They need to continue to push the puck up the outside and attack with speed. They played a pretty good game. They just weren't rewarded for it tonight.
Mark Recchi, 7 goals, now tied with Jamie Langenbrunner, the Langenbrunner of the Devils. The series now shifts back to Philadelphia, where the Flyers are a better team. Their fans, of course, are outstanding, and it's going to be a carryover from the end of Game 2 here, a little nasty. That's what the Flyers want to continue.
That was good for Philly to see that aggressiveness, to see that anger. They really kept themselves under control, which you have to do against Ottawa, because they're just turn the other cheek and skate away laughing at you, and you'll take penalties. But it was good to see that emotion. Philadelphia is a team that thrives on emotion. Primo, when he's playing mad, he's twice the player. Same thing with Roenick. Guys like that. Recchi is much better agitated. Amonte had some fire. He scored a goal in the first game, had some chances in this game. So I really like the anger late in the game. And when you get into Philadelphia and those 20,000 Philadelphia fans, nobody's angry at those guys, man. No, that's an awesome building.
No, that's a tough place to play. Not as tough as the Spectrum used to be, but this is a tough place to play. And we'll see. There's a lot of questions about the Ottawa Senators. Were they tough enough to compete in the playoffs? Are they deep enough mentally to go into a building like Philadelphia and put a good effort in? Well, we'll find out in Game 3, because they're going to be tested early. I've thought Hossa has shown some maturity, and that's why I thought he would have a good playoffs. It will be interesting to see if Havlat has matured enough to play well in what's going to be a very difficult place.
The reason this is not as hard a building as the Spectrum guys can't afford tickets to this building. They're hardcore meat and potatoes
All
guys.
the suits are there. Ottawa's never won a playoff game when trailing after 2. They're now 0-22. Well, coming up, more Stanley Cup playoff talk. We'll talk about the amazing playoff of J.S. Giguere, as unbelievably the Ducks have yet to lose a playoff game. More after this.
Drinks before lunch?
Water's fine for me.
Water for me too, but with lemon, please.
I'll have a Sam Adams, please.
Make that 2 Sam Adams.
I'll have a Sam also.
Me 4.
Nice. Never miss an opportunity to enjoy a tasty Samuel Adams lager, especially when it's on someone else's tab. Samuel Adams, always a good decision.
The Kia Sorento, the only SUV with a 10-year warranty. Dual front and side curtain airbags, and a standard V6, all for under $21,000. Where will it take you? Right now, get 0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back on the Kia Sorento.
K-Swiss, let's go. Let's go. Part 3. Got love for my shoes, K-Swiss. K-Swiss is back with a brand new invention, and the SP249s are the description. Silver stripe ×5, one of a kind, an athletic design for the times that'll blow your mind. Sporty style is on point, it won't miss. Got love for my shoes, K-Swiss. Got love for my shoes, K-Swiss.
Darn it. Time out. Hey. Why are you shaking me off?
I want to bring the heat up to announce my presence with authority.
To announce your what?
To announce my presence with authority.
Announce your presence with authority? This guy's a first ball fastball hitter. He's looking for heat.
Oh, yeah? So what? He ain't seen my heat.
All right, meat. Give me heat.
baseball tonight, all season long on ESPN and ESPN2.
NHL Tonight, brought to you by Sam Adams. Always a good decision.
Flyers win Game 2 over Ottawa 2-0. Roman Cechmanek, second career playoff shutout. Dave Strader and Brian Engblom had the call from Ottawa, and we go back out to them. Dave.
All right, thanks very much. And we talk about the importance sometimes of the first goal of a game. And the guy that scored it joins us downstairs, Simon Gagne. But, Simon, I guess you probably don't realize when you score the first goal, it may be the game-winning goal, but your goaltender played great tonight.
Yeah, I think Roman showed a lot of jump tonight. We know the first game, you know it. He kind of struggled a bit the first game, and he came back pretty strong for us. And I think win the game for us.
How difficult has it been for you goal scorers to get some scoring chances, Simon?
I think they close the game pretty tight, and we don't have too much space. But on the first goal we score, I don't know. We have a little bit more space. I think we put traffic on the net, and I came back and I had a lot of space in front of Lalim, and the puck went in.
Simon, you had some injury problems, the right groin, a difficult thing for a hockey player. You tried to come back a couple times. Are you feeling 100% at this point?
Yeah, I feel very great right now. I think the time I took before the playoff paid a lot, and was very frustrated for me this year. And every time I was back, I hurt myself again, and now I feel 100%.
How much momentum really carries over from one game to the next, Simon?
I think it's huge. I think we all know we had to go back home 1-1. It's all the time tough when you lose 2-0 in the series, and that game is huge for us. And now we have the advantage of the ice, and it's great for us. We're going to go back home and try to win at least 1 or 2 games.
All right, Simon, thanks for doing this. Congratulations on the goal and the victory. Simon Gagne with one of the 2 Philadelphia goals as they even up the series at a game apiece. Let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Dave. Just the second win in the last 9 playoff road games for the Flyers. Game 2 of our doubleheader coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. The Wild and Canucks. The Canucks scoring with a second and a half to go in regulation and win the thing in overtime on Trent Klatt's goal in Game 1. Much more to come, I'm sure, in Game 2. Dave Ryan and Eddie Olczyk have the call. Boys.
All right, thanks so much. In this series, there are 2 native Minnesotans. Darby Hendrickson playing for the Wild, Trent Klatt for Vancouver. Eddie Olczyk won a moment for the native Minnesotan, Trent Klatt, in Game 1 of the series.
Well, you think about Trent Klatt, he is a meat and potatoes type of player. He does all the little things for Mark Crawford, but late in the game, he was on the ice. And here, watch his position. Marcus Naslund gets the opportunity. He avoids Naslund, stays on side. But again, Trent Klatt is a guy that does all the little things. He kills penalties, and here at the end of the game, out on the ice, he knocks Fernandez down. He gives his teammate Matt Cook an opportunity. Then in overtime, the responsibility of playing in that slot area. You want to pay a price to score goals in a National Hockey League, you got to go to the front of the net, and that's exactly what Trent Klatt did.
So, Eddie, big question. Confidence for Minnesota. Can they bounce back? But remember, they came back in the first round, 3-1 against powerful Colorado.
Well, I think all they have to do is look behind the bench and Jacques Lemaire, all the experience that he has. I talked to Andrew Brunette today, and the reaction of Jacques Lemaire, and what Brunette told me is that Jacques Lemaire reeks with confidence. And right now for this team, they have to overcome a little bit of adversity. But they felt they played pretty darn well. They had the opportunity to win the game. But this is a team that believes in themselves, believes in their system, and see if they can do it here tonight in Game 2.
Eddie, the rumor mill is churning outside the Wild dressing room. Who will be the starting goalie in Game 2? Manny Fernandez or Dwayne Rolson? We'll find out later tonight.
All right, the big line, Todd Bertuzzi, Marcus Naslund, Brendan Morrison, the most productive line in the NHL this regular season in terms of goals. The captain, Naslund, red hot. Yep. Bertuzzi is cold.
He's cold, but just on point-wise, I think this guy has given a lot to this team. You look at the hit on Al McGinnis in the St. Louis series, that turned that series around. He's in the middle of everything. He gets a ton of attention. You think Naslund would be able to do the things he does without Bertuzzi knocking 4 or 5 guys on their butt every time he's on the ice? He's a big horse. I think he's the most dominant player in the game today. I think he's unique. Joe Thornton is the only other guy like him in the game, that size and strength and the ability to score and move the puck. Naslund is more talented. Naslund is prettier to watch. But I'll tell you, the best thing about this series is people that don't watch the Vancouver Canucks very much during the regular season get to see Todd Bertuzzi play and are starting to realize what a great athlete this guy is and what a special athlete he is. He'll score more points as this series goes on, I can guarantee you.
That's a great point. I got the center ice package during the season. If the Canucks were on, I was watching them because they're a fun team to watch.
Awesome to watch.
Let's talk about the Minnesota Wild, Ray. Boy, they had Game 1. And to lose a game like that must be disheartening.
Oh, it's a real kick in the rear end when you have a game right in your hands like that, and really a game you should win. And the reason they should win it is because nobody plays their system better than the Minnesota Wild, and they're so solid most of the time. Here, Wes Walsh takes the puck, and he runs right into Marian Gaborik here, and Marcus Naslund picks up the loose puck and puts it in. Minnesota never goes through the middle of the ice with the puck, but for some reason, he decided to go through the middle. He runs into Gaborik, and that turns the game around. Vancouver gets back in it. Later on, they got 2 face-offs in their zone. They have to just win one of them, or they just have to tie them. Well, what they decide to do, they try to win the draw clean, and look at who's taking the draw. It's Bertuzzi.
Yeah, he's got no points.
He's got no points, but he's the strongest guy in the world here, and he gets the puck back to Naslund here for the tying goal. Naslund throws it at the net. Look at all the Canucks jam in the front of the net, and there's Matt Cook, one of their role players. He drives to the front of the net, and he puts the puck away. Now, what you have here with the Minnesota Wild is a team that has been almost perfect all year long with the lead. They make a mistake, and they come unglued a little bit. The trick for Jacques Lemaire is going to be to get his guys to back on their system. Don't worry about Game 1. We came to Vancouver for a split. Try and play as solidly as possible. They're going to need good play from their goaltender, but they can't make those mistakes that they made late in Game 1.
Marcus Naslund a goal in 5 straight games. Only player with a longer streak in recent history, Claude Lemieux, 6 years ago, had a 7-goal streak for the Colorado Avalanche. Okay, how about the Ducks and the Dallas Stars? Again, Anaheim up 2-0. This is just an unbelievable story that they've won 6 straight playoff games against Detroit and Dallas, and you want to focus on some of the role players who are getting things done for this team. It's not only J.S. Giguere.
No, he's obviously about 93% of it. I mean, he's been unbelievable through the playoffs, but when a team like the Ducks is successful, it's because they have 20 guys going the same way. Everybody's pulling their weight, and it's not always guys that you hear all the time about, Paul Kariya or players like that. Well, look at Rob Niedermayer here. He takes the puck away from Zubov in Game 1, muscles his way in and scores. Late in Game 2, he throws a puck at the front of the net. It bounces off a Dallas defenseman and goes in the net. He's been a key performer for them. Jason Crow made the team as a free agent this year. He fires this one past Cujo in the first round. He's been a keeper for them, performer as well. Very good on the faceoff. Sammy Paulson had a terrible year. He left the team at one point, comes back. Here he scores a big goal in Game 4 against Detroit. If you're going to be a successful team in the playoffs, you need 20 guys contributing. But when you're Anaheim and you don't have a lot of star power, and it's not just going to be Kariya and Oates, you need to have some of your no-name guys do well, and these guys have done it.
And you left the team in my area. It was called going to the minors.
Yeah.
Now they just leave the team.
Yeah, and then he went to the minors, but he didn't come back. Barry, Dallas has reminded me of Detroit a lot.
A little bit.
Of last year. Yeah. This year during the regular season, if they were down 2-1 in the third period, they found a way to win the game. Last year, the Wings were down 2-0 against the Canucks, found a way to come back in the series. Do you feel this star team can repeat what Detroit did and find a way to come back down 2-0?
Certainly they're talented enough, but something's got to happen, and that is other guys got to start kicking in some offense for this team besides Madonna and Morrow. By far their 2 best players. Look at these other star guys on the team. Zubov had a great series against Edmonton, 1 point against Anaheim. Arnott, 4 points against Edmonton, only 1 point against Anaheim. Barnes, nothing. Turgeon did not play in that series, but he's played every game in this series, has not been a factor. I think he's had 1 chance. That isn't good enough. There's a lot of talent on Dallas. Madonna's getting extra attention, but he's still finding a way to score. Ruchin's playing against him every night. Morrow is just an awesome player. He just sticks his nose and he goes to net. He battles. They got to get more guys like that. Right now, Robbie DeMaio gets more shots on net than all those stars I just mentioned on that sheet. So it's time to put up or shut up of the Dallas Stars. Those stars got to start showing up every night.
All right, Game 3 tomorrow on ESPN in Anaheim. Well, of course, as Ray mentioned, 93% of the Ducks' success, give or take a couple percentage points, has been the play of J.S. Giguere, one in a long line of French-Canadian goaltenders having huge success in the National Hockey League. Giguere has always had one eye on Patrick Roy ever since he was a little boy. He's gotten to this point by idolizing Roy and also with the help of a very successful NHL goalie coach.
Shot, save again! Giguere. Boy, did he make that look easy. Saves again! Holy jump! He's got the angle, but Giguere is there.
For most of his life, John Sebastian Giguere has been following in the footsteps of his boyhood hero, Patrick Roy.
Everybody wanted to be Patrick Roy, and a lot of young French Canadians just started being goalie just because of him.
Giguere was 12 years old when he first met the Canadiens goalie.
I was 2 and a half. I couldn't really talk, so I didn't really say anything. He gave me a stick, which I was pretty thrilled about, and I played the whole year with a stick. After that, I lost once in maybe 30 games with that same stick, and I think me and my dad glued it about 5 times because it broke all the time, and we kept gluing it and taping it, and we had an amazing season with that stick.
While with the Canadiens, Roy was coached by Francois Allaire, who also ran a local hockey school. Inspired by his hero, Giguere attended that school.
We would have a video session where they would show what to do and what not to do. And a lot of times, you know, Patrick was on what to do every time, and the other guys were what not to do.
Less than 10 years later, he faced Waugh on NHL ice.
One of the rules is you don't worry about what the other guy does. You know, you have to worry about yourself. But you're there, you're you know, skating around in warm-up, and you know, you're next to him, and you're just like, how am I even going to win? You know, like, this guy is way too good. You know, it's impossible.
Giguere won that 1998 matchup, but in 2 seasons with the Calgary Flames, he never appeared in more than 15 games, and in 2000, he was traded to Anaheim. Giguere's former hockey school coach, Francois Allaire, was the Ducks' goaltender consultant.
After three years in a pro, I think he lost some direction, and my job was just to help him to realize what he was doing when he was really successful in his prime time in junior, where he was at the top of his game.
Just the difference that I saw over 6 months in him was phenomenal. And Frank and him got a strong relationship, believe in one another, trust one another, and understand how he has to play.
In successfully sweeping the Detroit Red Wings out of the playoffs, Giguere used the same butterfly style that he learned from watching Waugh.
Except for the different uniforms, it's unbelievable. Same size, you know, they both have the plastic hanging down from the mask, and exact same style. So, Shiggy's looking a lot like a Patrick Waugh right now, that's for sure.
I've never liked to hear that because, you know, you don't want to put this in your mouth. I'm going to be the next Patrick Waugh. I mean, you know, how silly is that sound? And like I said before, it's just, there's only one Patrick Waugh, and I don't want to be him. I want to be myself.
Drafted by the Hartford Whalers, traded to Calgary, and then traded to Anaheim for his second-round draft pick. Giguere did not need 5 overtimes yesterday, but he did extend his playoff overtime shutout streak to 132 minutes, 43 seconds. That's the 4th longest overtime shutout streak in playoff history. Giguere and the Ducks become the first team to win 3 consecutive playoff games, all in overtime, since the 1994 Vancouver Canucks. Charlie Gardner, former teammate of yours?
Yeah, he was a good player.
It's quick, eh?
Yeah, it was quick. Not quick anymore.
And again, my question.
Dead.
One loss to this team, will it affect the run they're on now?
No, it's not. This team is pretty resilient. They battled all year long. They believe in each other. You know, they've lost during the regular season, then they rebounded. What's interesting to me, though, in the NHL, the 2 teams with the best goalie coaches are Giguere's coach and Jacques Caron, who coaches Marty Brodeur in New Jersey. Is there wonder why those 2 goalies are playing pretty well?
And you wonder why every team doesn't have a goaltending coach.
Yeah. Or a good one.
Yeah, I don't know why some teams have it, and they have a part-time guy, which to me is staggering. You know, they just
the most important position in the team, and that's where you should have 2 coaches coaching
exactly.
that guy.
All right, well, we have a new goaltender in the Minnesota-Vancouver series. Jacques Lemaire says, Dwayne, it's your game. First start since Game 4 against the Avalanche. Our Game 2 coming up at the top of the hour.
Introducing a new level of performance from Acura. The all-new TSX.
NBA, Fridays on ESPN, finals tickets, RSVP.
My bags are packed.
Finals tickets.
Let's get the party started.
Get in the AT&T Ultimate Fan Zone sweepstakes. Log on now to NBA.com/ATT Fan Zone to enter for a chance to win a trip for 2 to an NBA Finals game.
Trip to the finals, sweet.
I'm all about the bright lights, homie.
NBA Finals, sign me up.
Watch the NBA on ESPN Friday nights to see if you've won.
Daddy's coming to La La Land.
Are you in on it?
Go to the new cheaptickets.com with new fare search technology for lower prices than ever. Or call now for new travel deals on cars, cruises, condos, and vacation packages. Why just save on airfares? Introducing new low hotel prices. Now save up to 70%. Cheap Tickets, the best kept secret in travel.
Announcing great savings on a Gateway Take, Make, and Share bundle. A complete Gateway 300 series home desktop featuring Microsoft Windows XP, plus a digital camera and all the photo software you need to take, make, and share your memories, starting at just $9.99. And we'll make it easy with no payments and no interest for 6 months. Call, click, and come in today for great deals on all the Ready Tech Go bundles. Only from Gateway.
Plays of the Week is brought to you by the United States Air Force. Cross into the blue.
Turco couldn't get all of it. LeClaire in by Hatcher. Centered by Oshot. Score! There it is! In sudden death overtime. It's Peter Sikora. The game that would not end just has.
Here's your lineup tomorrow night. Darren Pang, Steve Levy have the call from Tampa Bay, 7 o'clock Eastern. Game 2, Gary Thorne, Bill Clement have Game 3 of the Stars and Mighty Ducks. So 2 Game 3s with 2 teams up, 2-0. Let's start with that Devil Lightning series, Barry. And the Devils, of course, a championship team in the past, mainly because they've always had good goaltending and good defensemen.
Well, Marty Brodeur gets a lot of credit, maybe not as much as he should, but he's playing behind a pretty good defensive unit. And Scott Stevens gets all the ink because he's the guy, the big hitter, and he plays against the other team's top forwards. But they got some other defensemen who are great jobs. Ken Danico has missed 1 game in this playoffs. Somehow they lost that game. Maybe it's not a coincidence, but he is a mean you-know-what. There's Richards getting nailed. Richards has not been a factor at all in this series. Borderline call, could have went either way. No penalty call, but Richards got to start scoring, but he ain't going to score with hits like that against him. Colin White is a big horse in front of the net. He moves the puck pretty well. A tough guy to play against. Rafalski is a finesse guy, scores goals, moves the puck, run the power play, but he's also very good defensively, so that doesn't hurt them when he's on the ice. You've also got Tverdovsky, who can move the puck and a great skater, but that is a very good defensive unit, tough to play against, and that's one of the reasons Tampa Bay is having trouble getting to the net and Marty Brodeur.
Yeah, puck movers, physicals, defensemen, and they can shoot. Yep. They definitely have it all. And, of course, Jamie Langenbrunner is carrying the offense. We mentioned Mark Recchi and he are tied with 7 postseason goals. And look at Langenbrunner, the last 4 postseasons. The last 3 with Dallas, of course, his role slowly changed there. And now he's relied upon to score, and he's doing that. 7 games, 7 goals, tied with Recchi for the playoff goal lead. Let's talk about the Bolts now, Ray Ferraro. And we knew it would be tough coming into this series to get some offense going. They really have only 1 line, and we know what John Madden and the Devils bring to the table defensively. How can they get out of this scoring funk?
Well, most of all, they have to show some courage, and they have to drive the puck to the front of the net. You cannot skate around the outside against the New Jersey Devils defense and expect that you're going to score. The one guy that has driven the puck to the net is Marty St. Louis. Here he takes a pass from Lecavalier, makes a great shot and hits the crossbar past Brodeur. But Lecavalier, Prospal, and Brad Richards have to get the puck to the front of the net. In particular, with Lecavalier, who is their best offensive player aside from St. Louis, he's had 1 shot in the first 2 games. It's really not enough. If Tampa Bay is going to get back in this series, it can't be just a sporadic contribution from these guys. They have to lead the team offensively, and the way to do it is you got to get your nose dirty and go to the front of the net. If they're not willing to do that, they're not going to get back in the series.
Devils 6-1 in the playoffs. They've yielded just 10 goals. That's even fewer than the Mighty Ducks. Canucks and Wild next. Marcus Naslund, current 5-game goal streak, the longest by any NHL player since Jaromir Jagr at 5 straight for the Penguins in the 2000 playoffs.
ESPN HD. Sponsored by Phillips and Best Buy.
It's the one ring that says every day is Mother's Day. The Diamond Mom Band. Now for $99. Exclusively at Zales, the Diamond Store.
If someone wrote a book about your life, would anyone want to read it? Navy, accelerate your life.
What happened?
He's been bitten by a snake.
Was it brown? It was exactly lines.
Yeah.
Is it bad? You. Suck out the poison while I start a fire to cauterize the wound.
Lance, let's go. We're shooting a big attack scene.
Oh, hey, Pete.
Wait.
You're not a real cowboy?
No, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
What's good?
Sam? Subway's new Italian urban cheese. The taste will bring you to your knees. Garlic, oregano, rosemary spice. Fresh baked with Monterey and cheddar cheeses. So nice. Great bread makes a sandwich a true taste delight. You'll see for yourself with just one bite. Step right up. No one makes them like Sam. Whether a BMT, meatball, or my favorite, ham.
I told you he was the one to ask.
Subway, eat fresh.
The Saab 9.3 Sports Sedan just received a 5-star rating for collision safety performance from the European New Car Assessment Program.
Coming up on SportsCenter, can you say no for Millwood? Could Shaq and Kobe even the score? The NFL Draft winners and losers, plus the main event. Will Kenny make it? SportsCenter after the game, ESPN.
NHL Tonight, brought to you by Zales, the Diamond Store.
Well, it's a big day here at ESPN and ESPN2. All 4 major sports with a television presentation, NFL Draft, NBA and NHL playoffs, and Sunday Night Baseball in Anaheim between Pedro and the Red Sox and the Angels. Kenny Maine, he's the lucky guy who gets to go to each and every one of these sporting events. Kevin Frazier takes us through Kenny Maine's day so far.
Kenny Maine's day started at the NFL Draft. Then it was on to Boston for the Pacers and Celtics. The third event, Anaheim, but he had to stop in Kansas to fill up. Finally, off to Vancouver for Game 2 of the Wild Canucks series. But it all started in New York.
What are we shooting this for? I could be wrong, but it seems like a lot of the rules have been dropped. Day 2, you can probably pick 3 and 4 at a time, can't you?
No.
What about players who've already been taken? I told the Bengals they could take 3 and 4 guys at a time. There's very little supervision going on for them. I endorse this. Bengals have a coupon, so they get like 2 or 3 picks here. These are not my pants. Look at this. Okay, it's going to be jeans the rest of the way then. How's the look? Looks good. Need to mop this place up. I'm supposed to be the towel boy here, mop up some sweat from the big tall guys. We're going forward now. We're going west. We're done in Boston. What about the mood in here since we interfered with the game and did our thing? I don't think they know this.
So check out SportsCenter tonight to see the rest of Kenny's tour.
And the games.
And the games. Like our game. Yep. It's next. Minnesota looking to even the series with Vancouver Canucks. Won the first one in dramatic fashion. Game 2 coming up next here on ESPN2.